Institute of Liver and Biliary Sciences is deemed to be Liver University in New Delhi. Thanks for the organizers for giving me an opportunity. I have nothing to disclose except that we have the brightest residents in the country. I'll cover with you the effect of COVID pandemic on liver. Everyone knows this beautiful diagram and also the spike proteins and also the ACE receptor which is expressed. Besides lungs, you have several organs, brain, kidney, liver, GI, and cardiac, vessels, and dermatology. I'll be just covering the liver. It could be an impact on healthy liver, or it can be on an underlying chronic liver disease or cirrhosis. The way COVID infection SARS-CoV-2 involves is a severe inflammatory response or sometimes sepsis coming from the lungs, hypoxia of the lungs or body, and that leads to hypoxia of the liver, drug-induced liver injury, microthrombi in the sinusoids, direct damage, which is still controversial, or multifactorial. So once the virus comes, you have a cytopathic damage, the macrophages take it inside, there is a congestion, you have cytokines and immune cells which go into the hepatic sinusoids and cause a liver damage, and this is actually a bystander kind of a hepatitis. Like in influenza, you get second time and you get hepatitis. Typhoid hepatitis, similarly, you have something like a COVID-related liver injury due to bystanders of T cells. You also have direct injury into the sinusoids and microthrombi. How does the COVID affect a healthy liver? It depends on the severity of injury. So if you have, there are several large studies which have given from 14% to as high as 82% of the people with a normal liver can get liver injury. And severe acute liver injury can also be into a very large proportion of healthy subjects. This study is interesting, and I want to show you of the total 1800 non-severe COVID 1100 and severe in 652. The higher AST or a higher ALT was seen in nearly 45 to 77% of the patients. Albumin also went down in many of these patients. So you have a patient who has very high, let's say 500 or 1,000 enzymes. Will you still think of COVID? Well, I would like you to consider activation of hepatitis B, HSV, or EBV, or also patient may have just coincidental hepatitis A or E infection. Please also look into underlying chronic liver disease like NASH or something, severe drug-induced liver injury. Review the medications of the patient, CPK, to exclude myositis. Then stop hepatotoxic medications like you have INH and others, correct hypoxia, hypotension, and sometimes you need a liver biopsy to see an autoimmune injury due to COVID. Let's look at now what COVID can cause and an underlying chronic liver disease or cirrhosis. This is a large registry which was in the UK, and they have shown, as well as other series from the US, that patients who have got NAFLD, they have a higher incidence because of high BMI of having severe liver disease. And if FIB4 is more than 4, there is an increased mortality, and FIB4 relates to your fibrosis stage in an NAFLD patient. There is higher expression of ACE2 and TMPRSS2, which exposes the liver to more infection by COVID. This is an interesting and important study. We normally say comorbidities. Here you will see that compared to all other comorbidities, NAFLD alone had a higher odds ratio of causing a progressive disease. In fact, if you look into this, the response to vaccination is also poor in patients. Why NAFLD? Liver has the largest number of macrophages where the COVID is insulting Kupffer cells. There is an excessive pro-inflammatory cytokine release, TNF, IL-6, ferritin, and because of the cirrhosis, there is a cirrhosis-associated immune deficiency syndrome. All this leads to a progressive worsening of the immune status and immune injury in NAFLD. Alcohol, a patient has ALD, then nearly 2 times more risk of mortality with COVID. And there is also an immune modulating effect of alcohol if you continue to drink. So hold on. COVID-19 in ALD has been shown to be an independent risk factor, so odds ratio of 1.79 to 2.42. So beware of indulging during COVID. Hepatitis B and C, they can get flared. Hep B infections may not cause more liver injury, but mortality can sometimes be high. What is interesting and new is that if you treat with tenofovir, it stops replication of SARS-CoV-2 by terminating the RNA-dependent RNA polymerase of corona, just like for hepatitis B. So people on tenofovir are more protected from SARS-CoV-2. And same is true for Hep C. If somebody has Hep C and you're giving sofosbuvir, it inhibits SARS-CoV-2 RNA-dependent RNA polymerase. It is probably better than remdesivir. Drug-induced liver injury you have to think of. Several of these studies have shown 1/4 to 1/3 of the people, especially if you're giving remdesivir. So don't give without careful assessment of the underlying liver state. If there is a pre-existing liver disease, in this large study by 52 investigators across Asia called APCOLI study, APSL COVID-19 liver injury spectrum study showed that cirrhotics are more predisposed to COVID infection. They get decompensated faster and they have more severe liver injury and higher mortality. Therefore, and this study has been very largely quoted. Similar data has come from other studies. So when you look in this APCOLI study, those who survived versus did not survive. Now, first, the incidence of severe COVID in those who are decompensated are more. They have no immunity. They will get more COVID. The mortality in cirrhotics is higher. The incidence of liver injury is higher. And of course, the survival, if somebody has a CTP score of more than 9, mortality in 3 weeks is nearly 50% or so. So cirrhosis and decompensated cirrhosis is a high risk factor in your emergency situations. This is just to show you CTP 9 or above, mortality is high. The same is shown in the SECURE study from UK. It shows you that CLD without cirrhosis versus cirrhosis, mortality is much higher. This is our own data from ILBS of 260 cirrhosis patients. Those who did not survive, they had worsening jaundice, ascites, or encephalopathy. They had much more COVID-related complications, also liver-related complications leading to death. Post-transplant and COVID-19. This shows you people who have received transplant generally manage well, but if they have severe COVID, and the risk is 3.94 times, especially if they are on MMF mycophenolate. So please stop that. Generally, COVID patients post-transplant are better served because they're under immunosuppression by steroids. However, a severe COVID can kill them. So hospitalization, need of ICU, mortality post-transplant is high. Liver injury is generally mild if it is severe in about 1 in 10. And transplant recipients compared to general are almost same, slightly more involved. To summarize, therefore, I would say COVID-19 directly and indirectly affects liver. And the liver injury is proportional to severity of COVID-19. If your patient has gone on to vent, manage the liver also. People can develop acute liver failure, acute on chronic liver failure, get decompensated. Remember, obese or NAFLD people have worse outcome and poor response to vaccine. A Collis study showed that pre-existing cirrhosis, comorbidities, and severe COVID will have poor outcome. Manage your patients of B and C as before. It may be lucky. HCC as before. But yes, remember, autoimmune hepatitis patients can have severe flare. Therefore, management is very much important. Do not decrease immunosuppression. Post-transplant, COVID outcomes could be variable, but stop MMR. Remember, every single patient of CLD must get vaccination with or without transplant. But do remember to look for autoimmune injuries due to vaccination. Thank you, and I hope there are no more COVID patients and no more COVID-related liver deaths. Thank you.